Hello everyone, myself Ketan Bhavsar, Assistant Professor in LJ Engineering College, Ahmedabad. In this session, introduce a VLSI technology, section second, and today's topic is Y chart. In previous session, we already done what is IC, Moore's law, what is VLSI, applications of VLSI technology, and methodologies. Fine. These five things we already done in previous session. So in today's session we are introduced or we are dealing with a Y chart. What is Y chart first of all? So as you can see, it's also called as a Dejavsky chart, and it is also a part of VLSI design flow. As you can see, the Y chart is divided in three parts: behavioral domain, structural domain, and physical domain. In behavioral domain, we are dealing with a software part like algorithms, FSM, module description, Boolean equations. In structure domain, we are dealing with a hardware parts like processors, resistors, ALU, leaf cell, and transistors. In physical domain, we have to dealing with a area, or we can say that with the masking, chip floor plan, module placement, cell placement, and masking. So we have to start with a algorithm and behavioral domain, and as per the anti-clockwise we have to reach till the mask. Fine. So what is Y chart? Y chart consists of three major domains: behavioral domain, structural domain, and geometrical layout domain. The design flow start from the algorithm that I already said, that describe the behavior of the target chip. The corresponding architecture of the processor is first defined. See, as I already told you, whatever application you want to design with help of the VLSI technology or with help of the any embedded technology or communication technology, you have to define the algorithms first of all in terms of the flowchart point of view or in terms of some pseudocode point of view, and after that as per your requirement you have to choose the processor. Let's take one simple example, like suppose if you want to design a simple home automation system with a microcontroller board. So if you have to deal with more than 10 or 20 GPIO at a time, then you have to select the specific processor that have more than 20 GPIO. Okay, so the selection of the processor is also play a main role as per the algorithm. It is mapped onto the chip surface by floor planning. See, if you have some area constraint, then you have to choose a specific chip, like DIP chip is there, quad chip is there. As you already know, DIP chip take a large area or size as compared to the quad chip. So as per your requirement, you have to choose a specific chip. The next design evolution is the behavioral domain is defined as a finite state machine. In digital system design you already work or you already learn the FSM. It's play a main role for designing the combinational and sequential tasks which are structurally implemented with the functional modules such as the resistors, arithmetic and logical unit. So if you have to perform some arithmetic and logical unit, then you can also perform with help of the FSM, because FSM support the combinational as well as sequential task. These modules are then geometrically placed onto the chip surface using the CAD tool. The full form of CAD is computer aided design tool. Fine. You can Arduino is also a CAD tool. Xilinx software is also a CAD tool. So computer aided design tool means what? With help of the computer you can change the functionality of hardware. So it's called as a CAD tool. For automatic module placement followed by routing with a goal of minimizing the interconnection area and signal delay. So as you already know, in VLSI basically we have a main four parameters: size, power, performance and cost. See, if you reduce the area then ultimately your performance will be improved. Fine. So with help of the routing means connections. Okay. With minimum connection, if your connection less, then your signal delay will be less. So we have to place according to our requirement or according to our applications. The third evolution start with a behavioral module description. Individual modules are then implemented with a leaf cell. Leaf cell is also called as a basically a cell with help in that particular cell there are the number of combinational logics available. At this stage the chip is described in terms of logic gates. As I already told, there are the number of logic gates inside the leaf cell which can be placed and interconnected by using a cell placement and routing program. The last evolution involved a detailed Boolean description of leaf cell followed by transistor level implementation of leaf cell. See, as you already know, in digital IC is designed with help of the gates and gates is designed with help of the transistor. You can see the variation in gates because of the switching of transistor. So we have to implement logic cell and in the depth we have to go on the transistor level for understanding the switching of transistor, and according to that the leaf cell will generate the output. And then we have to put a mask generation means we have to make a layering of that. Okay, and you are getting the proper circuit, or we can say that the proper masking of any product, and according to that you can go a mask production. Fine. In standard cell-based design, leaf cell are already pre-designed for the logic design use. See, standard cell is also somehow we can say that the semi-custom design. In VLSI methodology, we already know in full custom, each and every component is designed by the user themselves. And in particular, semi-custom, we use a ready-made pre-designed headers. Fine. So standard cell also use a ready-made predefined header. So we can say that standard cell take a large amount of performance variation as compared to full custom, and also it take a less amount of time as compared to the full custom. So VLSI design flow, as you can see, we divided in main three parts: behavioral domain, logical domain or logical representation, circuit representation, layout representation. It's a physical part. So first of all, if you want to design any projects or any product, then you have a specification of that particular system. After getting the specification, you have to work on the architecture, or we have to work on the designing. After you are successfully implement or successfully identify your specification and design, you have to verify your design. You have to check which logic will fulfill your applications. Then you have to again verify your logic, and as per your logic which circuit will fulfill your requirement, you have to choose a specific circuit, and again you have to put verification. See, as you can see, we use verification after each and every stage. The reason is very clear, because verification is play a main role. If functional design will not work properly, if logical design will not work perfectly, if circuit design is not work perfectly, then your output will not generate, or your prototype or your project will not run successfully. So verification is play a main role on each and every stage. And after completing the behavioral, logical and structure representation, then we have to move on the physical design. So physical design verification is also play a main role as per your application. As I already told you, if you have area constant, then according to that you have to choose a particular microprocessor and controller. Fine, you have to go with the DIP package, quad package, FQP package, TQFP package, and then you have to start the fabrication. Fine. So as you can see, after functional designing, again verification, logical designing, again verification, circuit design, again verification, and after physical design and verification. Fine. So it's play a main role for designing the any product in VLSI technology or work on any projects in VLSI technology. The VLSI design flow taking into account the various representations or abstraction of design behavior, logical structure and mask layout. Note that the verification of design play a very important role in every step during this process. If you fail in any process or any designing, fine, then your output will not generate properly or your circuit will not work properly. So I hope you understood what exactly I am trying to convey about VLSI design flow and Y chart. So still if you have any doubt or any query, then you can contact me. Fine, I will definitely try to solve your query. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you very much.